Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the EPL Fanbase Show, the show that connects you with the happening in the English Premier League. My name is FM Steve, and I'm joined in the show by football pundit SP, also known as Simon Karaoke. SP, how are you?
Very fine, Steve. How are you? Still surviving?
I'm surviving. I'm getting strong. And we have Josiah Oleguna. How are you?
I'm very good.
Yes. So, gentlemen, it's nice to have you in the show. The league, the first time I think in like 12 years that the top six didn't have a win. Let's look at the big six, how they fared. If you look at the Manchester derby, I think that was a fair result, so nothing much to talk about. And I think Josiah had predicted right, saying that it will be both managers were to be cautious, and I think maybe it's proved the tactic that was applied by managers Pep Guardiola. Pep knew that Man U has been winning through counters, so he gave them that respect. He didn't really attack Manchester United. So a draw was a fair result. Now, the shocking result was the other contender, Liverpool. To me, they struggled against Fulham. Spurs, second half attitude of sitting back costed them the vital 3 points. Chelsea losing to Everton. Josiah, what do you have to say about the top guns and the result? The league is proving to be interesting and hard to predict.
Yes, so for me, let me dissect it through the way you have mentioned very, very easily. The Manchester United derby, the Manchester derby was clear from the start. I think I was spot on, like you've said. It was expected. You knew what was coming, and I've seen it before in the season, so I wasn't surprised. I think they'll go all out. One is playing Sheffield, the other one is playing West Brom. There'll be wins, and they will try and close that gap. They have a game in hand. They know if they win those games in hand, they're somewhere around number 3 and number 4. So they knew they would do that. Especially Man City has a very good run of games after this, so it's expected they were to do that. Everton, Chelsea, there is no surprise there. When you think about it in terms of the history, Chelsea has always, suffered against Everton when they're at Goodison Park. I expect the same to happen in terms of Chelsea winning when they meet at Stamford Bridge. It usually, at any one point, it's not a surprise. Now, Spurs versus Crystal Palace, you can tell that my fair assessment is big up to Mourinho for the style of play that he has, but I think the best managers and the people who win the league are people who can be able to adapt. I just didn't like the thought of him parking the bus against a Crystal Palace side. You would park it against Liverpool in your next fixture because it's understandable, it's Liverpool and the quality. But knowing him very well, him being in United before, I know he has a tendency of doing that even against small teams. So there was no surprise in him doing that. But with the firepower that he has right now, I didn't see the point of him doing it. I know he is capable of doing it, but at times you look at it and you're like, it's not a good move, especially for a team like either West Ham, Crystal Palace, Southampton, who in set pieces they always get something. So if you sit back, they're gonna look for a free kick, a corner, something, and they are gonna checks of this world. Those three teams have people who can grind a result. Benteke with a header, something. Cahill, something. My biggest shock was Fulham, Liverpool, knowing that, they were even lucky with that. For me, it was a penalty. Whatever people are gonna say about that, I don't know. But for me, that was a clear penalty. You looked at them and they looked confused. They looked as if no one knew where they were playing. Injury.
Just excuse. Which one was penalty?
Yes.
The Fulham one, which was denied by VAR, or the Liverpool?
No, the Fulham one that was denied by VAR for what's his name?
That foul on
Fabinho on the, I don't know the player from Fulham. For me, that for me was a clear penalty. It was also a clear penalty, the one Salah scored, because that Kamara guy jumped and so it's quite clear. But for me, I think Fulham deserve to be two goals up. Anyway, when I look at all those clubs, the ones I've mentioned right now, the 5 of them, it looks as if no one wants to win this Premier League. Why do I say that? Liverpool have now lost 11 points this season.
Yeah.
Yes, compared to 15 the whole of last season when they were winning the league. Meaning those points that we expected, I don't know. I remember Gideon one time saying that we are talking about 99, 100, 90 something. We have gone back to where we were before, when Manchester United and Arsenal were winning the league with 80. Yeah, 70. We are back to that, we are back to factory setting. And I can dare tell you that all those teams have a chance. Probably others have a bigger chance than the others. Like, for example, Manchester United among the 5 would be the last if you look at, the form right now. But you have to give up Manchester United for winning all their away matches, probably suffering home. Liverpool is winning their home matches, losing away. You look at Chelsea, sometimes they lose home, they lose away, but they're not as consistent. You look at Spurs and you see their style of play sometimes doesn't work for, small teams, and probably would work for bigger teams. So for me, that shows that there's no one who really has figured themselves out well to win this league. So it's a mixed bag of mediocrity, good performances at times, coaches, tactics, COVID, injury. It's a combination of so many things. So it's surprising, at the same time not surprising. But yeah, it was a shock that no one won that game, especially Liverpool. And I think they will regret losing points to teams like Fulham and the rest. So on to the next one. I think they are gonna. It will be a hard game week for the people who are gonna face these clubs, because all of them will need 3 points.
SP, are we likely to see a repeat of 2016 when Leicester won it? Because at that point it was like all the big teams were struggling, and slowly Leicester started picking points. This time you can see Leicester and Southampton. You can see the way Leicester is playing. Sometimes they can be in a 3 games losing streak, then they speak up, and you can imagine there is a time Leicester had a very bad run, but currently they've picked it up, and they are among, I think they are like 4th position, or they're just somewhere there, 3rd position with 24 points, I think. So what do you think about this league? It's becoming very unpredictable.
Steve, I think we are in for one of the most interesting leagues in a long time. I was just looking at the table earlier, and between position 1 and position 12, actually 13, there are 8 points between them. And that tells you that, today you're in the top 4, tomorrow in the top 10, and the next day, lose 2 games, you're 13th, win 2 games, you're 4th. So it's quite an interesting league. But I think the the one who wins the league this season is the one who will be most consistent. And consistency here, is not really consistency in winning every week, but being able to match results of your competitors. And when I look at when I look at how the teams are playing right now, I just can't get beyond looking at Tottenham, Leicester, because those are the two teams for me that I think Tottenham because of Mourinho and the fact that he has been here before, and Leicester because they have a bunch of players who have also done this before. So I think that the period between now and the first week of January will do a lot of segregation, if you ask me. The next couple of games become very interesting because if you win today, and if you win your Christmas games, which are coming in very thick and very fast, then you'll be in a better position come January. And that is why I fear for teams like Arsenal because of where they are. Because in the next 3-4 fixtures for me will determine how this table looks. I mean, we have already more or less forgotten how well Everton started the league. We have since almost forgotten how Aston Villa started the league. And you can see Aston Villa are 10th with 18 points, but they have 2 games in hand over people like Tottenham, who are sitting pretty at the top. So if they won that, then if they won both their games, Aston Villa would go to 24 points. So it's quite an interesting league. And for me, like I said, it's about consistency and who ends up being the most consistent during the period. I, however, have to mention one result that was quite interesting for me during the weekend. Well, not one, just a few. One was the Leicester win, the Leicester superb first half performance from Maddison and Jamie Vardy. You've had what's his name, Brendan Rodgers, saying that Jamie Vardy is quickly becoming his Luis Suarez. And then the other result for me was the West Ham game versus Leeds. West Ham are, in a position where, 6th on the table, and I really can't explain how they got there, especially because we beat them the other week, but they have come back to beat Leeds away from home, which is no mean feat, if you ask me. So if I'm looking at teams to watch over the next couple of weeks, it will be West Ham, Leicester, and Aston Villa, if you ask me. But in terms of title race, I think the title race, the big boys will still be there. But I think as it stands right now, this league is Tottenham's to lose.
Okay, guys, we have to end it there. It's always nice to review the matches. In fact, we may even end up taking the whole day. This has been the EPL Fanbase Show, the review match day 12. To the fans watching us, you can always catch up with us on YouTube, the EPL Fanbase Show, as well as our Facebook page, EPL Fanbase Forum. Thank you, and see you again for the preview match day 13. Adios.